So, good evening, guys, and welcome back to OTL. We are in Season 4, and it's the first round of Bahrain. No more Jensen in the comms box tonight, and for the foreseeable future, we are joined by OTL Dixie, aka Adam. Good evening, young man.
Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, good evening. It's good to be back. Let's see what's happening a little bit in chat, and then we'll have a good talk. Mike, Mr. Rage, Ian TXJ, Stephen, Chris Stapps, Mikey, and Adam, but that's you. Good evening, all. So, what has changed? Nothing has changed in terms of Mondays. Mondays is still OTL. The grid is very much the same. A couple of new names. Ryan Sam, a returning name, an Irish Nude Potato, aka Con. So he's a returning driver. Otherwise, I think our grid pretty much stays unchanged. I think Shiv joined late in the season.
Chivy's our reserve, and he's jumped in because Glowsticks couldn't make it tonight, so he's jumped in tonight.
Ah, so there we go.
Yeah, permanent reserve because he can't always make it, so this works out. So, good addition. He'll be up there fighting with the front guys as well.
For sure.
Obviously, we're waiting to see if Walker gets the power back on his end, so he can join. And he knows if he joins one lap, retire, so the lobby doesn't bug out.
Because the good old famous Codemasters, nothing will ever change on that front. So no matter how big a break we get, we're always going to have the issues.
Yes, and we love them. That's why we keep coming back for more.
This is very true. Now, in terms of league structure, Wednesdays, which was OTL Elite, now becomes HWA. It's very much just the same, just a different name, a returning name that some may remember.
A returning name, that is better, a returning giant.
Well, a sleeping giant.
I think we'll go with sleeping,
see.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll see how it all plays out. And then on Thursdays we have OTL Realistic. This is a league and championship based off of realistic performing cars. The car depending each driver will be depending every week on their championship order, so that's very exciting. You get to see different drivers at the front, whereas most leagues you tend to see the same guys at the front doing the same racing. This adds a new dynamic. It puts people in lesser performing cars and people in better performing cars, which adds something just a little different. I've been part of it for a little while and it is a lot of fun, so that's going to be something to look out for.
What you did in a Williams was immense.
So there is opportunities, yes.
Yeah.
And it makes for some exciting stuff. So on to our grid, and tonight, obviously, Bahrain, round 1. Mike is in. He got in, right? Our defending champion.
He is in. He is
who
in
is
charge
on
of the
a
lobby.
lap on his soft
I'm
tire.
on with Ryan Sam at the moment. My rival from Realistic. A new guy for the season, so I'm on with Ryan Sam at the moment.
What car is he in?
Williams. He's in a Williams, right at the bottom of the timesheet.
Oh yes. In the middle of sector 2. Let me just do a bit of audio balancing. It'll go blue just for a little minute, but I will take that straight off. Cars are just a little bit loud for my ear holes. Don't like it much. So Ryan is a no traction guy. I think Ryan could be a bit of a threat coming in here. I think he's going to add a little bit of a dynamic change at the front of the grid.
I mean, I agree, but then I can't agree because I've only raced in realistic performance. But I would say he'll be from top 5, I think, personally, and I hope so.
But we're going on the basis of realistic performance. He was in Aston Martin, right? You drove a Mercedes, McLaren. So, yeah, I think he'll be close.
Yeah, no, I think so. I hope so. It was because of the realistic that I offered him to come to
And I think he is about to set the benchmark time as well. On a 27.3, he does. Puts the fastest lap on the board so far. Good evening, Jensen. My old commentary friends. Chris Stapps setting the pace on that Ferrari car we have. Also, SPWs and an invalidated lap. Somebody else just coming across the line.
Mikey is on an outlet, Chip on an outlet. Let's see what Con 1, Irish Noob Potato does. Me old mucker, if he can survive the lap. Love giving this guy stick. Absolutely love it. Love giving everyone stick, especially Chris. I mean, in terms of teams, Chris, we've got some formidable teams out there this season.
Yes.
I mean, the Red Bull, Irish, Mikey, Alpine again, Stephen and Matthew. Williams, Mick and Ryan sound could be a threat. Walker and Skarma, hopefully Walker can make it in tonight. And then Mike and Rob, just like a dream team, that one.
Oh, of course, Mike and Rob Wills. That is...
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's tasty. I mean, I look at F. Lewis and Jay Intex, and that could be a great team as well. Ryan Sanders just improved 27.2, so he's up to P2, nearly 27.2, Skarma 27.4, Mick 27.7, F. Lewis 27.7 on the mediums.
So that is a tasty lap for F. Lewis on the medium compound tyre. Ranger just slots into P5 on a 27.5.
Now Ranger on the wheel now, so he's gone from pad to wheel, so competitive time for him. The more he does on the wheel, the faster he'll get.
This is a very, very true. Now, I don't think Mike's on a hot lap here. No, he's not, because he's braking a little bit on the straights. I think he was trying to charge a battery, but he's not got a lot of energy to recover.
Mikey's gone purple sector 2, but it does that for everyone.
I think Shiv's on a lap, but I think he's a little bit off the pace on the mediums. No, 28.3 is not too bad actually. I'd take that utterly back. Medium pace looking not too bad.
Mikey 26.8 bench setter, there you go. Mikey's not here to play.
Takes pole as it stands by 10.5.
I'm going to say it, Mikey wants that money!
Yes, of course, that's something we didn't mention.
Yeah, we didn't.
Money on the line. And all three divisions, all all three leagues in this one home, we will say.
Oh, I'm going to jump on with Rob now. Rob's just started a lap. Rob Wills. P5 in the championship last season, in his first full season.
Yes.
Threatened to win last season, Rob did. If he plays it right this season, he'll get one. Could always do what Stephen did and just ask Mike to give him a win.
Yes, that is very true. Sorry, I'm just trying to sort one thing out very quickly. I don't know, just kind of thing made me.
I'm really looking forward to this race, how it pans out. Where's Matthew at the moment? 28.2, softs, okay, so Matt's not really putting in proper laps. It's got to be no ERS, etc, etc. Same as Mike. 5.5, I can see Rob sliding into the top 3 here. With his sector 2 time. There's Mitch. Mitch is in P13 at the moment. I'm going to get on board with Mitch soon as well. Got to support my South African fella. 27.0, Rob P3. That is very close between second and third there. What else have we got? Right, so Khan on a lap on the mediums now, so that was a dummy run on the softs. What is Rage? Right, Rage is on that lap. The man who was going to be my teammate until I dropped out.
So on board with SPW, I think he's one of our men just opening the lap at the moment. He barrels into turn 1, picks up the apex nicely. Very tricky Zach's on, and he'll pick up an invalidation. Try to take too much of 2. Just going to say the exit of 1 through 2 and 3 is very, very treacherous on the rear. We've got Pedro not far behind. He is on a hot lap, I think.
Could be. I'm going to assume he is. Purple sector run, but again, always happens. Stephen has invalidated. Jay is still in the pits. Right, Rage is on his hot lap now. 28-1, sector 1 from Rage. A low 105 for sector 2 will probably put him in the top 3. I'm going by Mikey and Rob Wills. And Chris Taps, obviously.
I very much apologise, Mr. Adam.
You're good, mate. I'm just chatting away. Well,
No.
I think Rage will slot in P3, P4.
And Rage lighting up the sectors on his medium compound tyre as well. So looking very, very tasty.
He's looking to be in the top 3 here on his medium run.
Which should be very, very good.
Yeah, I'm just going by the sector 2 times with Mikey and Rob Wills I see.
DRS open.
27.2 P4 on the mediums.
Not too bad at all for Mr. Rage. Stop scoffing, Adam. I don't think he is scoffing, Mr. SVW.
No, I'm not actually. I haven't actually eaten anything
No
yet.
Ferrero Rocher today.
No, I've got some cashew nuts, some chocolate peanuts, chocolate raisins.
So
some
Mike
Dolly mix.
is leaving the pits. How long left in the session? I think this is guy's going to be
6
coming out
minutes.
for the last. Oh,
6 minutes
depends.
30.
But it's saying Mike's out in his third run. This is his third run, so this may be his last new set of soft tyres, unless he used a medium early in the session. SPW says Kerry is really spoiling you. I'd totally believe that as well. So we have Mikey leading the way, Chris Taps in P2, Rob Wills 3, Mr. Rage 4, Ryan Sam 5 of course, Mr. Rage inside that top 5 on the medium compound tyre, Irish Potato
Good lap. 27.2 as well on the medium.
26.7 though for Chris Taps in the Ferrari. I was just on board with him there as he crossed the line. I didn't even realise he's on a hot lap, and he takes over that pole position by 1/10 of a second. So starting to up the pressure at the top of the grid. As it stands, I think Mr. Rage is probably the most comfortable looking to go out. If he wants to run the soft tyre at the end of the session, I think he'll feel good that he can stick that car on pole. But continuing through the order, oh sorry Adam, we've got Nelly in P7 on a 27.2.
I was just
P8.
agreeing with you, mate. I was just agreeing about Rage, to be fair.
Yes, yes. It's whether he changes though, because the thing is, P4's probably not a bad position to start on the opposing strategy, so
No.
he's probably got to try and hope that some of the guys just behind him come out a bit early and they get their last times in, and he sees how much he's going to fall by. Because of course there is 5 drivers there on a 27.2, so it's only going to be the smallest of margins. You can lose 5 positions, which is kind of scary. Good to see the midfield of the grid absolutely stacked though. Now where is our championship defender? Into turn 1 he goes, we'll get on board. Snatches a very little inside lockup. Nice and early through the gears to get maximum traction out of 2, up through 3, DRS will pop open. They're up to 4, very long and weird corner. It's begging for you to get on the power, but you just got to give it a minute, then get the power on, nice and aggressive, and use all the curbing outside to open up the entrance of the S's, then small lift the car understeer, and just always trying to drag you wide as you fall down the hill. Keeps it nice and tidy as he fires himself up the hill into probably one of the trickiest braking zones of the season. So it's do your initial turn, then get that wheel straight, smash the brakes, and then get off them to get through. And Mike cranks the car up nicely out the exit. He's come up to the last sequence of corners in sector 2, tucks it up nice to the apex, keeping it in 5th gear to find maximum exit speed. Nice and flat at the top of the hill.
He's going pole.
Then a nice trail of the brake, gets the power down nicely to head down towards the last corner. And this can make or break your lap, this last corner. It seems very simple, but the way the track opens up and pulls away, it just makes that exit a little bit tricky. Small snap at oversteer, DRS will pop open. It's a 26.5 for Mike.
Champion is champing at the bit for this one.
Another Ferrari coming round at Shiv, just going to open a lap on his soft compound tyre. I don't know if we have anybody else on a lap. We've got green fingers, in fact. Sector 2, a bit of traffic in front. Mitch a few tenths up in his lap. Where is our SPW? What is he up to? He is on a lap. Falling into the tricky turn 9, I think it is turn 9. Could be wrong.
Oh, Jay's doing a lap. He's come out late and he's going to do a lap. Is Stephen on a lap? Stephen is on a lap.
He is. I'm just waiting for his Sector 2 split to pop up here to get a gauge of roughly where he's sitting. And I don't think he's far away. Oh, and he's going to get an invalidation there. He just turned in too early.
He needed to be with Mikey and Rob, and they needed a 105.5 Sector 2.
Yes.
Rage has retired.
So he's a happy boy. He feels comfortable. And Adam, can we just look at P5 to P9 on the grid?
Yes, it's it's as tight as you'd like.
If Nelly was to find half a tenth, he'd launch himself inside the top 5, and he's currently P9 for half a tenth of a second. That is the margins the midfield is going to run at this season, which is kinda bonkers.
Yes, it's going to be some battles all over the place.
Where else do we have a lap? Nelly's on and out of the lap. We've got Mick a little bit up. Green Fingers ahead. Green Fingers needs to be careful here, because there could be a lap impede. And he does get out of the way in the end. So Shiv's not on a lap. Pedro on out laps. Let me see if we can find our lead driver. Rob Wills half a tenth up. He is definitely on his last run. Where is Mikey? Mikey is out the lap. Mikey's backed out the lap, so it's over for Mikey. Mikey is not going to improve. Kristaps is still in the pit, so it's over for him. So Rob Wills and Skarma are only two men that can probably dislodge Mike from pole, and it's going to take a big gain to try and find that.
Yeah.
I think Mike may have it in the bag. First race back. But let's see Rob Wills Sector 2 split. He's only just about a tenth up. If Rob Wills can find some more time through the last couple of corners, he can maybe dislodge Mikey and Kristaps. Also two drivers split by absolute nothing. But Mike probably not holding as big advantage as he thought he may have had going into the first race. Mikey definitely turned a screw going into the first race of the season.
Yes,
Rob Wills gains by that half a tenth. Where is Skarma? Skarma's way down in his lap. What about Ryan Sam?
I think Skarma's invalidated.
Ryan Sam coming up the hill. He is on a lap. Let's see Sector 2 split. And he's 2.5 tenths up. So Ryan Sam threatening P4, P5. If he's got any more time in the last couple of corners, could he get close to the top 3?
I hope so. I'd love to see it.
Into the last corner, picks up nicely. Gets a good application of power. He's going to pop that DRS open to the line, and he goes to P4. It's a 26.8, only half a tenth off P2 and P3. That's a solid lap there for Ryan Sam in his debut qualifying session. Ranger, I think, is our next man on a lap. Yeah, I think it is.
I want to pat myself on the back for the addition of Ryan Sam.
SPW says I invalidated on my lap.
F. Lewis has gone pole.
Where the hell did that come from?
We was not paying attention because we're old.
Yeah, that's all I can factor it into. Where is Mick? Mick coming through the last corner. So Mick is a little up. He is our next lead driver. Where can Mick get close to the top 10? He does not. He stays in P12. Ranger is showing me in his delta. He is a tenth up. A tenth will find him a couple of positions here as well. So he could get close to P8.
P7, yeah, P8, P7.
And he does, he goes P8, 27.1 for Ranger. And I think he'll be reasonably happy with that, with his first probably big quality session on the wheel. And can we just look, they 27.2 guys were all fighting for P4 and downwards, and then we had all these men bank in the 26 laps at the end. So every day most definitely sandbagging a little bit at the start of qualifying.
I mean, let's look at the rivalry in P1 and P2. Former teammates turned rivalry end of last season. now side by side on the grid. Mikey looking good in P3. Ryan Sam the new addition. Chris Tapps is one. I can't put words to it. I'm not going to lie. Just cannot put words to it. He has flashes of brilliance.
ENTXJ says he's so slow. Where did you go, Jay?
He was on mediums.
Because you're on the medium tyre, you're dope. You're a wizard at coming for the back anyway, Jay, so I'll see you in the top 10 in no time.
I mean, he doesn't want to be doing this on Thursdays in realistic. He's my teammate.
So, the curtain falls on our first qualifying session of the season. First scalp to young Ethan. That's an interesting one for sure.
I can put money, he's got a massive smile on his face right now.
Very much so. Shock 7th. Yeah, man. Shock 7th. No, Scammer, you usually go not bad at Bahrain. Not going to have that, not here. This is probably one of your better circuits.
He's good over a lap, Scammer. He's very good over a lap. He's just unfortunate in the race. Now,
guys,
Matthew surprised me.
If they are watching as well, remember the rules have been laid clear for all racing this season. If your front wing is at the air intake or barge board area, give them some space. If they're not there, and if you're the guy trying to attack and you don't get your wing to there, be willing to back out the corner. Just because you get a wing at the rear tyre doesn't mean you're entitled to space. That also doesn't mean don't be a dick. Excuse my French, and cut people's nose off. That's the one and only time this season I'll swear.
I doubt that. You're Scottish, mate. I very much doubt that.
That's also a fact. Let's get some data on the board. Keep on position changes for. In fact, let's actually have a quick nosy at the tyres at the back. So ENTXJ, our only man outside the top 10 to go in the hards. Mr. Rage down, all on the medium compound. F. Lewis to Ranger on softs. We'll just give a run through of the grid. So F. Lewis and Mike line up on row 1, Mikey and Chris Stapps on row 2, Ryan Sam and Rob Wills on row 3, Skarma Ranger row 4, Mr. Rage and Nude Potato row 5, Nelly and Mick row 6, Matt and Pedro row 7, Fingers and Shiv row 8, ENTXJ and Mitch row 9, and Mystery and Validation SBW on row 10.
Oh, Stephen's been called out. I'm going to start with Stephen actually. I can see him gaining straight away.
Yes, I think.
Lightning off the start.
Although,
yeah, lightning.
Guys also need to remember, it is probably the second roughest turn 1, but Italy. Yes. In fact, it's probably worse because it's a hairpin. So just be easy. Space needs to be left, and if you're at the back, be very aware on your brakes. The last thing you need in race 1 is to fly into the back of somebody and break your wing.
I mean, I just want to note something here, Chris. I bet Mike is absolutely doing his box looking at where Stephen is under the formation lap.
Oh,
I bet
yes.
Mike is brewing at the moment. Mental. I'm looking forward to this with the addition of Ryan Sam, Connor, Irish, New Potato back, Chris Tapps up in P4. I'm looking forward to it. Shane Walker had a power cut. He's going to miss next week as well.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, his power cut, so he didn't get back on. He's working next Monday, so he's 2 behind.
But round the corner they come for what is our first race in Season 4. SPW will be our back marker to line up in the grid slot. We will go to flick it back to position change, and he is just lining up. So we'll go to the broadcast view, we'll get rid of that on the side at the moment, and we should get lights for our first race of the season. Let's all go have a good one. We have 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's lights out in OTL Season 4 is away, and it's a reasonably good start there for F. Lewis, although his second phase was very bogged down. Mikey gets a good start from P3. Mike struggling a bit, he's going to go in that inside line though. F. Lewis will need to be careful when he turn in here. Mike did have the car in position, the space is left, and now, and Mikey nearly gets turned round there, but F. Lewis, I think it was just small contact as Kristaps looks up the inside to F. Lewis now for that P2 opportunity. F. Lewis just struggled a bit in his second phase of the start, and I think it just made them second guess a couple of moves. Tried to recover it all in the braking zone, but the guys have fired through. Kristaps makes a massive move. I think he's missed his braking a little bit, and he's going to go round. He just came from way too far back. Oh, and I think he's used a reset to track there as well.
I've got that turned off. I'm sure that's turned. I hope it's turned off.
Oh, and there's people coming everywhere on. Pedro's ran into the back of Kristaps. That's going to cause a bit of contact further back in the grid. So who are our bigger gainers off the first couple of sectors? Irish Nude Potato and Nelly Shari both have gained 4. Skarma up to P4 from P7. But of course the critical one for the championship out front, Mike has got in front of F. Lewis. The question is now, can he break the gap?
If anybody's going to, it's going to be Mike, isn't it? He was so strong last season. Why did I think Mike was on the mediums?
I do not know, sir.
It's just normal for Mike. I don't know, this could be an interesting battle. Ryan Sam's up to third. I'm at P4. Stephen up to P16 at the moment and gaining on Chiv. Rob Wills down to P18. In a massive battle with fingers there, all on the back. This race could get very interesting, very quick. Yellow flag sector 1.
Mike defending.
Oh, Rage has had a moment.
Mr.
Rage has had a moment.
Oh, he's down.
He comes back though. Rage comes back well. You know, I myself all last season called for safety cars in it, and it rescued me quite a few times. We've had Chiefs just had a moment. So Stephen up to P14 now, on the back of Pedro. Chris Tapshy goes well. Jay Entek's up to P11, gained 6 positions.
Irish Nude Potato and Mikey, the two Red Bull boys, having a bit of a scrap here for P5 and 6.
I mean, these two could work really well together.
Yes, I think Red Bull for me is probably the strongest outlooking team on the grid for me.
I'd love to agree. I just know.
On Green Fingers is out. Now this could be a safety car add-on. This could be a safety car. VSC out. Now the guys at the front have a choice here. Are they going to pit?
Oh, Mike's gone in.
Oh, and F. Lewis has caught the safety at the pit lane entrance there. That's maybe going to be something that's looked at the end of the session, because Mike was using his advantage to P2, and that's why the line's there, because in P2 when a VSC comes out you have the advantage. P1 is just the unfortunate circumstances, but F. Lewis was the one that wanted the track position early, so I think Mike may just report that.
Knowing Mike, I don't think there's a may. This is Mike. Because
F. Lewis has only done that to react to Mike.
Yeah. Ryan Sam staying out in front now. Well, look at the Red Bulls, second and third. Nearly up to P4. Matthew in P5. So he's gained 8 now because of the VSC.
How the outlook of the race changes under one virtual safety car.
But that's the thing with OTL, which was always great. You can put someone who, myself included, Pedro, Fingers, whatever, in a different position.
It's back to green light racing. I think DRS instantly gets re-enabled there as well. So yeah, it was. Nelly was able to use it straight away. So Ryan, Sam, Con, Mikey, Nelly, Matt. Where is our lead fight? So Mike went down to P15.
Rage is well off. Has Rage had another spin? I think Rage has had another spin because of his tyres. Keep your chin up, Rage. They're more than likely to be a full safety car.
Young so Mitch in P13 having a bit of a battle here with Shiv.
Skarma must have pitted as well then. Yes. Right, so the Mike, Lewis, Skarma, Rage have all done a stop.
So Mitch going to get the squeeze on a little bit with Shiv. Just moves him over to the middle of the road.
Oh,
Look at Mitch with the big bull defence on the outside line, and he's going to keep the foot in it. Oh, and he just had to get out a little bit there.
Yeah.
But that was a bold attempt at keeping the position there. Well done, Mitch.
I like that. Stevens up to P10 now in the back of J. One man with a penalty is Mick in P7. So looking a strong race result for Williams if positions stayed the same, which they won't. Only lap 4 of 29. Mikey has got past Con.
Still a long way to go. Now the question is,
Yes.
Mikey showed his pace in qualifying. Has he got it to drive away? Mikey, of course, one of these guys on the softs that chose not to pit. So will his strategy come to him? The soft and medium strat does work here.
I was always one for the mediums first last season.
I think it is the better race tyre for sure. But
I just think it plays to the advantage of someone myself. It played to my advantage. Of a safety car as well. Sometimes get a safety car when it's pit time. Other times not so much. But Con's going to make the move with his teammate. DRS assisted. Probably nice and fair through the first two corners there.
Mikey holds position.
Con's going to come back again. I do love an inter-team battle.
Con going for a big yeet round the outside into turn 4. Good effort there. What's happening between Ranger and Matterman? Because Ranger is doing a pretty good job at the moment.
He's looking comfortable on the wheel and he's not had it long. I'm impressed. I'm glad I've given my seat away to Ranger. I mean, Matthew on the mediums though. So the three in front of Ranger are all on mediums. So Matthew, Nelly and Irish. So if Ranger can get past them, he's got no ERS though.
We've not really spoke about the man out front as well, Ryan Sam. He's been holding that gap since he got to the front and it's not really changing. He's chilling, doing his own thing, running his race.
I mean, I'd like to see Ryan Sam get a podium in, and if another race win. But that depends on young Michael.
It would be some debut, that's for sure.
Yes.
And how is Mike and F. Lewis progressing? Took a good chunk of time out the guys in front.
3/10 is still the gap between these two, so this is going to be an ongoing battle all race.
So let's see, the leader gap is the interesting one. So Mike is 18.8 off the lead. So even after the next round of pit stops, Mike is back in net P1. It's about a 20-second pit stop. In fact, Scam was close to clearing Ryan Sam also. So it's going alright for them.
Here comes Lewis. He's in it now. He's not going to make a move there. Maybe wait for the next DRS. This is getting tasty. Oh, Mike, little wobble.
Pedro P11 as well. It's medium tyre.
3-second time penalty.
So Pedro is just staying in ENTXJ's DRS, which I think's making it quite tricky for Rob Wills to have a go at Pedro. So that battle will rage on for a little while.
And Stevens up to P9 now. He's cleared Jay at some point. He's going to chase him down Mick. Chris Tabs worked his way back up to 7th, but not making many inroads now. The spin is costing. So the Con is now closing in on Ryan Sam. So these mediums are coming to life and the softs are probably feeling a little bit less tasty, but Con has no ERS. Mike has an abundance.
I think the softs are going to start to feel a little bit meh. They'll be okay, but they won't feel great. Ranger YouTube in the pits. He goes from medium to medium.
No ERS for Con. Con, disgraceful. Manage your ERS, please, sir.
Pedro on the backs of ENTXJ. Are we going to see a move here? He's going to use some energy. ENTXJ will defend. Pedro goes for a big eat right round the outside, but just the outside line's really hard there, and then nearly really the car nearly steps away, and Rob Wills gets through. It's nice to see people trying the outside move there up into turn 4 though. A lot of drivers really tried to have a go there.
Oh, I thought he was spinning.
So Ryan Sam has came into range. But the thing is, he's got a bit of an ERS advantage to...
Oh, massive ERS advantage.
Con and Mikey, so... Oh, excuse my yawn.
Mikey's got 63%, Ryan's got 40, Con's got nothing. Might as well say. Maybe you'll see Ryan saying box now. Get in, get on the hards and the mediums.
So Irish Nude Potatoes going through this lap either way.
Yeah, that's happening right now.
And I think he's trying to put a bit of distance between him and his teammate.
I mean, all I'm going to say is I'm glad Irish Nude Potato is up there because it reminds me of when he first joined HRR.
So let's see how this plays out when they come up the hill, because I think Ryan Sam's going to come back at the Red Bull here. Oh, he's not quite close enough. Sorry to jump in on you, Adam, there. I thought something was going to mount in that other DRS zone. But look who's came to join the party, Adam. And before Nelly has came to say,
I'm here. Nelly's
I want
the only
to
man.
do some fighting.
Nelly's the only man I will ring before a race to make sure they're in, just to get on Mike's nerves.
Yep, also an OTL champion.
Yep, OTL champion, original OTL as well. Was there season 1, first league he ever joined was OTL.
And he's silently went about his business today.
Yes.
We've not really mentioned him much. And I think that's in no disrespect to Nelly, that's just shown that he's turned up silently in the background.
He hasn't
never done
the
anything
game
crazy. Wow.
I think is what he was saying the other day because work's been busy and stuff, and
well then.
It just shows some people can pick up the game and they've got it. I mean, look at Con, his strides in front now.
Oh yeah, pushing on.
He's pushing on. I think you can see Ryan Sam pit. Yeah, Ryan Sam's pitting. That's it. Good job, Ryan Sam.
So Mikey and Nelly both released.
Oh, F. Lewis has got in front of mine. When did that happen? So Ryan Sam will come out behind these. Is Ryan Sam already coming out?
So F. Lewis will go through and Shiv. What happens with Mike? I think Mike's going to get through as well. He's going to go in that inside line.
Ryan Sam looks like he's coming out behind Skarma.
Mike makes a good bold move in the break. F. Lewis does leave the space. Oh, and Mike's traction there out of 3 was very interesting. And he'll go to the inside line now in F. Lewis. He's seen people try it on the outside and it just doesn't work. F. Lewis will see the switch back there and he will come back at him. So he hold the outside line now. Are they going to do a bit of racing here? Mike gets the throttle in it and good bit of racing there, and F. Lewis sees the switch back again. He's now on the outside, which will give him the switch back for the drive up the hill. And he now gets a better traction out of turn 7 and gets himself up the hill a bit better. Absolute superb racing between the two.
Wowza. I mean, ERS though, Mike has the advantage there. Come on, let's look at Con. I'm amazed by Con. He's made it through 9 laps. Here, Con. He needs to save his ERS a bit. Stephen up to P7, silently making his moves.
12 positions up, Mikey and Nelly. So Mikey box. Mikey is in.
Chris Taps is in. Rob Will's coming in. No, Rob Will's doing another lap. I think, do you know what, I never touched on this. Fingers DNFing. I mean, I know he's probably not watching the stream, but I just want to say, from the bottom of my heart, love you, Fingers.
So, can F. Lewis now get back at Mike? This might be Mike's go time to maybe pull away from F. Lewis. He's got a bit of an ERS advantage.
Oh, he's got his buddy Stephen in front of him as well.
Look at Pedro up there in P7, right on the back of Rob Wills and SPW. Pedro running a stellar first race of the season at the moment. Ranger picks up another time penalty for multiple warnings.
Alright, so where's Ryan Sam? Ryan Sam is on the back of Tube. How far behind is Ryan Sam? Let me have a look. So Ryan Sam is 4.7 off F. Lewis. So he is on for a podium, Ryan Sam. Dependent on what happens with Con, if Mikey can come back, which it looks like Mikey will. Stephen's out of the way from Mike. Obvious move there. Right. Oh, no. Ooh. That's going to cost Mike.
What is it? No, I think Mike's further back. That's Rob Wills. He's fighting.
Okay, that's alright then. It was just because the car was orange. My bad. It's age. We're going to put that down to age. It wouldn't surprise me if Stephen done something like that to Mike, though. It's Stephen for you.
Yeah, I agree.
So now Mike and F. Lewis have got to try and get past Jay. He's doing a stellar job on the hard up to P8. The Rage is back in it, really. Not far off. Nice little safety car for Rage.
On the back of Skarma. He's probably going to go through this lap. Needs to go through this lap for the sake of his race. And through he will go.
Skarma's doing a good job. I'm impressed with Skarma today.
F. Lewis maybe going to have a sniff at Michael down in the last corner, not quite this time around.
I mean, this is just a DRS try. Oh, Lewis has lost it! Oh, Lewis is in the wall.
Has it got damage?
I think so. He twatted the wall pretty hard.
No, Ethan. Oh, they were having some fantastic racing as well. Hopefully something will come his way, yep, and maybe bring him back into the fight. Because the pit thing aside, they were racing very, very respectfully, and that's what we like to see.
Racing hard, racing fair. Now, Mikey and Ryan Sam, I want to see this fight if Mikey gets back on him.
Old Matoman in P3, he's there or thereabouts.
Yeah, he'll be there at the end. He'll be there.
Yes, Walker, I would agree. I think it is Mike's to lose. Yeah, if Lewis was hustling him hard there as well. They were entwined in a battle pretty much the full race. But it's OTL and a safety car could spawn at any point. 13% battery, no. You might get 17 laps out of 13%. So Pedro now even more so on the back of Rob Wills. He's got young Mike behind him as well.
Well, I'm trying to gauge whether Mike is catching Ryan Sam, if Ryan Sam is just keeping the gap the same.
Now Mike on the back
Ryan
of
Sam's
Pedro.
on for a P2.
Mike goes through.
Just gonna leave some chocolate peanuts for Stephen.
So Mike goes through into P7. And I think Walker is absolutely spot on. It is Mike's race to lose. Oh, and Rob was a big moment in that. Well, I don't even think it's a moment. I think that is him saying, you know what, teammate, I'm fucking... Oh.
I mean,
yep, you were right.
on the softs.
Who, that? Rob?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Maybe that was a moment.
Wow, he's taking a fair old stint out of that tile.
He is. He's doing a fantastic job. Nick's just coming out in the hards.
I'm trying to have a guesstimation to who I think will be on the podium now.
I mean, mine is Mike, Ryan, Sam, Mikey. At the moment, obviously once Con, Nelly, Matthew, Stephen, Mick, Pitt. If there's a safety car, may change. Ethan, Lewis, F. Lewis could be back, and then comes Rob.
Pedro's state line speed is crazy. He's proven very difficult for ENTXJ to overtake.
And there's only one way to deal with that. Send it.
I think Ryan Sam, with that penalty, is going to make his podium.
Oh, he's got a penalty.
Tendency's pretty difficult now, but never say never. Oh, and ENTXJ makes a big move down it for Pedro. Oh!
This is what Ryan Sam needs. He needs some DRS, he needs to pull away from Chiv Mikey.
So, Mike on the back of SPW. Will we see a battle?
Oh, goose no.
You never know.
Yeah, well, yeah, I suppose. Very low on the RS. No, that was easy. Stephen put his foot on the brakes then. I see that.
So Mike is now 10 seconds behind Matthew.
There's a nice little thank you from Michael there. Ryan Sam all over the back of Jake. And Fedor. Like, this is critical for Ryan Sam. He needs to make these moves, and he needs to make them this DRS and then the one down the straight. When will the medium runners come in? Are we talking next few laps or?
I reckon they're probably going to try and stretch that next lap or two, maybe 18 at a push.
Right. Jay's speed on the straight is a bit nippy too.
Has Pedro still to pit? I think he does.
Yeah, he's still got a pit.
Let's see who's all had a pit.
I think the front three, not Mike, then Stephen, Pedro, Jay have all got.
And Shiv.
And Shiv, yes. Right, there you go then too. No.
Pedro going in.
Out. Shiv has gone. Has Shiv? No, Mikey's passed Shiv. So 1.2 to Ryan Sam for Mikey. What fast is that? 129.5. All the way down in P14.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, hand on heart, I want to see a safety car. I just
that's at the detriment of one driver though.
It's only at Michael though, isn't it? He can abuse me in admin's chat or something for saying it if it happens.
So where else is the battles forming? Ranger and Skarma.
Oh, Jay's gone. So Ryan Sam is through. Mikey is through. Rage and Chris Taps could be fine. Ranger, Chris Taps, Rage. With Rob Wheels coming onto the back of it as well. Could be one. Skarma, Ranger, Chris Taps. It looks like a battle. Is Stephen going to pit now? He's using his ERS to get DRS off a young Michael. And Connie's having a barnstorm. I'm really happy for him.
Yes, definitely starting the season very, very well.
Yeah, he's still going to get abused, but
I think Mikey's going to send one here on Ryan Sam down into the braking zone. They'll go side by side. Mikey gets the second dose of DRS for good measure, and look at SPW, he's managed to keep up with Mike. Mike was 10.9 when he overtook SPW to Matt. That's only down to 10.4. So that's an interesting factor. But these guys, Con, Nelly, Matt, SPW, once they pit, they're going to have to do some overtaking.
They are indeed.
To get back to the positions that they feel they should be in. So when they choose to pull the trigger is quite critical in their race. Con and Nelly continue on at the moment. We might see them even push it to 20 here. SPW, you might see him try to pull early and try and get a bit of an undercut and catch himself up with Matthew at the moment. Because as it stands, he's been beaten by his teammate.
Mike has lost a tenth or two there to Matthew. Jay and Tex is in the pits. I thought Jay would have gone longer than Hodge, but the spin probably didn't help, to be fair.
Yeah, the tyres may be baked. Absolutely cooked.
Ranger and Chris Taps are having a bit of fun.
Oh yeah,
Ranger
here
up
we
the
go.
inside. Oh, there was a little bit of wheel bang in there.
We can accept the wheel bang, I think.
Ranger's coming back, so Ranger's finishing in the top 10.
Which I think is his first full competitive race on a wheel as well.
Yeah, Ranger's doing well. Why is Skarma in P16? Has Skarma had a moment?
He's two stopping.
He is. Interesting. I'll have to talk to this man.
So here we go. Nelly boxes. Matt boxes as well. So Con may be about to get undercut by not just Nelly but Mataman also. Con's in-lap pace here for the pit is huge. He's got no energy, so he's going to be a little bit slow. Of course, Nelly, Mataman in the pits will get that top up to spend a bit on their outlap and try and recover some of the lap time as SPW and Mikey do a bit of battling. Ryan Sam coming to join in as well. And
Energy,
Mikey will
Ryan
stay
Sam
in
and
front.
Mikey have got the number.
So Con is pushing. Oh, Adam, I'm going to leave it with Con.
Go on, mate, go on.
To grab the restroom.
I will jump on with Con now. I will call the pit stop. Come on, Con, don't bile it now. Mike 15 behind. Here's Mikey catching. Ryan Sand gets in front of Stephen. Nicely done there. And is Con going to pit? Let's watch. Is Con going to go one more? No, Con is in the box, so this should give Mike the lead again. Now this is a battle I'm looking forward to seeing. Mike on mediums, Con on softs.
Come in. Now.
Mike in the pits as well.
Taylor.
I think that probably was a small call from Mike. Made a very big buffer. He'll be going to the soft tyre. He's going for maximum points.
I mean, fair, but I didn't see it coming. Con's that back out in fourth. Matthew 3 seconds behind. Con's on the hard, it says here.
Con, yes. I think he's been stiffed by his
Wow.
engineer here.
Oh,
And Jensen says, Jensen, your tips are not so good today.
no.
It's got to be, young Nelly for the win now, I think. Ball
Nelly or
firmly
Matthew?
in Nelly's court.
I'm bold claiming this one, Matthew. Matthew's going to make some moves. Matthew's not going to let me down.
Matthew finally turns up in OTL.
He does. He has. He's finally. He's got potential.
Well, I think we all thought that, Jensen. So I don't know. I think there's been a bit of a miscommunication with his pit wall, and it's just all went a bit wrong. As Nelly sits the fastest lap of the race.
No, Matthew does.
Wow. Let's stay with
I'm
Mr.
telling you, Matthew.
Walker.
I'm looking forward to Matthew Walker. I'd love to see him get the win. I'd love to see it. I hope he hasn't got the stream on.
No pressure, Matthew.
Yeah. I'm telling you now, if he doesn't win, he knows what's happening on Rust. No, he's 6/10 behind. No, sorry, he's 1.2 behind Con.
He is absolutely flying.
Well, Con isn't
He just
exactly going
needs
slow
to
on them
preserve
hards.
some energy, because overtaking Mikey will prove very difficult if he's got no energy when he gets there. 7 laps to go. Matthew very much in the hunt, and as Adam says, as it stands on the tyre, probably favourite to take the race win.
I mean, full throttle through there. Come on, Matthew. I'm invested now. Mike in P7. Mike's still going to get back. Surprised at the two. I'm surprised Michael didn't stay out on those mediums.
So
Nelly's going to make a move on Ryan Sampson. This lap now. Oh, Nelly's got no ERS. Neither's Ryan Sam. Mikey's got an abundance. Matthew makes a move on the outside of Con.
that's it.
Mike
He just
passes
needs looks
that.
for the better grip.
Nice racing from them two there.
Con tries to get a squeeze on, and he's doing the right thing on the hard tyre. He's making everybody's life very difficult, but Matthew's grip prevails on the soft. And fair play to Con, it's good to see him still get that bit of tenacity about him, that
do you
even
know
though he's
what?
been
It's
screwed
good
over,
to
he's going to fight to the death.
It's good to see him back and up the front of the pack. Although his strat call was absolutely disastrous, it's good to see him back. Come on, Matthew. There's a podium in this for you, Matthew, if not...
He's already at the podium.
Yeah, because of the penalty, yes. It depends on how many warnings he's got. Which, I'm going to go check. And I'm going to keep it to myself.
And Mike, 10 seconds off the pack, so it's a lot to find. 7 laps still, so we're just going on to 6 laps to go, so there is time for Mike to pull it back.
Yeah, Mike can still get back there. Matthew up 9 positions, Nelly up 9 as well. Nelly going for the lead. Matthew will have
Oh,
DRS on
Mikey has a
Ryan
big oversteer moment there out of the exit of turn 2, which is going to close Ryan, Sam and Matthew now all into the DRS range. This just got spicy with 5.5 laps to go.
Con's not miles off the pace on those hard still though.
He is doing a job, he is doing an absolute job.
Come on, Matthew.
It's probably critical for his race now not to running at the back of Ryan Sam, but he needs to get through.
That was just a Matthew moment. Why did you time there? That's the one, Matthew.
Shot, yep.
That is the one. Normally he rush something like that. He does listen, Chris, he does.
Sometimes.
Yes, sometimes.
Keeps his car on that inside line. Fair play to Ryan Sam there, giving space where space is due. And now it's a drag race, but Matthew, of course, has that DRS advantage, and he will just now breeze away. But look at Con on that hard compound tyre. He's going to look to the inside line of Matthew. Has he got it on the brakes on the stiffer compound? He goes for it, keeps the inside line, but look at Matthew's grip difference. He's able to just get the power on early in the middle of the corner and just drive round the outside. So Matthew now has to use his pace. What has he got on the tyre? Can he get up to Mikey? And better still, can he close the gap to Nelly?
Come on, Matthew. I'm honestly 100% on the edge of my seat. Now I know how you and Jensen felt all last season watching some of this. I'm 100% with it now.
It can stay chill for a long period of time, and then out of nowhere, bang, a race erupts.
And Con still ain't dropping off.
He is in the fight.
He is.
And Matthew needs to use a bit, because he needs to try and close that DRS to Mikey, or Con might just go through.
That's it. Come on, Matthew. Come on, Matthew. Don't use too much. Save a bit for this straight now, Matthew.
So what has he got? Can he push on to get Mikey? Probably. I think he's doing the right thing here. He is saving down this straight. Get yourself tucked up in behind and make the big move up into 4 with your traction difference. So here he goes. Let's spend all the energy. Mikey will go defensive, and he's just got the energy to keep the car in front a little bit, and Mikey putting his car in all the right places. He's just sitting just off that racing line. He pretty much just blocks off the inside and outside line for Matthew and gives him no option but sit behind for the moment.
Oh, Matthew, little mistake there. He's still there though, he's still there.
Well, and I think he's been touched a little bit there. Hopefully Con managed to not get any damage. Con looks okay. Mitch getting well out the way of this battle for P2 at the moment. Mikey, of course, getting a little bit of a benefit there of Mitch's DRS as a back marker, so that allowed him to defend and just maintain that half-second gap up to the top of sector 2.
4 behind now.
4 laps to go. Mike may not be far away from this. He can definitely maybe recover possibly P4, but as these guys get pulled around in the DRS, it's very, very difficult for Mike. Now there, Matt needs to capitalise here, because Mike is struggled on exit. Look at him go. DRS will pop up and they'll pull to that inside line, and look at the overspeed. He is absolutely breezed past Mikey there and up into P2. Now if Matthews get anything in the tank, he needs to close this gap to Nelly. 1.8 seconds, because Mikey will put him under pressure. He knows it as well. Nud Patel having a little look at Mikey, but the guys just don't have the energy to push on. So Matthew's going to get another 10th out.
1.7.
And it's all going off in the last few laps. Who would have thought this would be the top 5 going into the closing 5 laps of the race as well? But it's OTL, and I don't know why it doesn't surprise me.
Didn't I call Matthew winning earlier?
I am not sure, but he's starting to lose a bit of time there. Nelly's pulled the gap out to 2 seconds. They're both quite even on energy. So the question is now, how much of a fight does Matoman and Mikey get in?
But you can't forget Con is still there. So Mike, you can't just think about Matthew, he's got to think about Con behind him.
Oh, that is a very good point.
Yeah.
That's a very, very good point.
Do you just go for second, or do you watch the guy behind and lose the podium? Come on, Matthew. Honestly, want Matthew to win this. I think he's earned it.
Nelly's looking pretty comfortable at the moment.
Yeah.
He is chilling. Remember, Nelly knows this very well. It probably is a comfort zone for the likes of Nelly and Mike just sitting out there in front. Matoman has now broke the gap. And what's happened between Mikey and Mikey is down to P4, Adam. I don't know what's went on there.
Con was only 2 tenths behind coming down the main straight, so Con might have made a move on the second DRS.
Wow.
I mean, I will say one thing for Nelly and Matthew, they both have the same amount of warnings. I'm not saying how many though, I'm not giving nothing away.
Nelly, I think, is in control at the moment. He's put the gap out now to 2.2.
He is constant.
And Con, on his hard compound tyre, is in DRS range of Matt and clear his DRS from Mikey.
Yeah.
So Con can very much look forward for these last couple of laps.
Matthew up 11, Nelly up 10. Who'd have thought these two, P1 and P2?
Con just doesn't have the energy on the straights to close the distance. Matt's got that just a little bit in reserve, and of course just a little bit extra in Con. He is pushing. He is absolutely pushing on the hard tyres. You've seen him absolutely on the end of grip, like balancing it as aggressive as he dares without getting in the wall. Matt gets the gap back down to 1.7.
Con's right there. He's
Nelly
right there.
Keeps the gap. See, Nelly seems to be good in that first sector. He gets it out to 2 seconds. And Matthew finds a couple of tenths over Nelly in the middle and last sector. But even then, I think Nelly's just playing the time game and just... He knows he just needs to keep the gap and doesn't really need to drive away. And the biggest threat in the championship, Nelly will probably feel at the moment, is Mike, the championship defender. And
yeah,
as it stands, he's finishing P6.
Yeah,
he can
he
find 8 tenths, he can get
P5.
top 5. And look at this, Adam, look at Con. Con will go back through and Mataman's going to defend it in the inside line. Oh, but Con says, nope, that's Matt inside line. He'll push him back over to the racing line. What's Matt got in the brakes? Tries to get round the outside, not quite there this time around, but Matt will now get the return in DRS.
I'd leave it to the next DRS.
It's the last lap. Matt flicks back to the racing line. Con will hold it in the inside. Gets a squeeze on last lap. I think that's fair enough. And somebody's went round. Mr. Rage has went round again on the penultimate lap of his race, and he goes into the pits. I think he's maybe picked up damage there. So Con on his hard compound tyre has got a bit of a gap to Matoman. Can Matoman tuck up behind here and get the run?
I mean, the gap's falling to Nelly as well. Ryan Sam needs to keep 3 tenths in the bank from Mike now.
So Nelly coming up to the penultimate corner. Well, it's essentially not, but it's the penultimate real corner. And down to the last corner to take what will be the first win of Season 4. He announces his championship contention right from the off. An absolute aggressive wheel spin. And he will take the victory at Bahrain. Irish New Potato, with a stellar drive in a hard compound tyre, will come home in P2, and Matoman with a solid drive in P3. Bearing in mind that was from 13th on the grid for Matthew. SPW gained 12 from the back of the grid to P7, and very notable mention on his drive as well. Mike Kristaps and F. Lewis, of course, with that spinning moment, our biggest losers of the race. Skarma on the two-stop didn't quite work out for him this time around, but in all, a very good season opener for OTL. Yes.
Really press lead party then, I'm not gonna lie.
Silly.
I do that a lot. Matthew Walker, I'm telling you now, stop hiding offline. Don't like it.
Yes, especially on race nights.
There you go, they are added.
So we will get our top 3 in for a little chat. Of course, Nelly taking home that win. Matoman just losing out in the end to Con, but still a solid drive up to P3. And of course, Con taking home that P2 in the very opposing hard tyre strategy.
The strategy didn't want.
Which probably makes me feel like Con might feel that's one that got away.
If he doesn't, I'll abuse him in discourse.
But of course, we will
Of course it is, my friend.
In a little minute, we need to wait on Nelly joining the party.
Yes, Nelly will
no,
join.
we can go back to we'll go back those two followers. Nelly can join and we'll just talk to him last. We'll start with you, Matt. We were spurring you on, especially in that last stint in the race. I think.
Where's your headset? It was just crackling.
Is it fixed?
That's it. That's it.
Yes, you were doing all the damage, I think, in your first stint. I told you pre-race just to do you and keep yourself out of bother. You did exactly that. And it set you up very well for that second stint and to really try and have a go at winning the race. But still, Con and his opposing strategy just pitch you in the end. You had a good little battle. How do you feel?
I feel good. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought it was going to be top 5, but yeah, as soon as I saw I was in second, I thought, you know what, try and go for it, go for the win. I might as well do it while I'm there. But, nevertheless, he beat me to it. Con, that was a good laugh. That was.
Matthew, I'm so proud of you.
I bet it hurts you saying that.
No, it doesn't. Edge of my seat. Ask Chris. Edge of my seat. I really wanted you to win that. You played it right, and you did a great job.
Thank you.
So
good.
Well done. Well played.
Thank you.
So in context, Matt, you probably couldn't have asked for a better season opener. You've got to be really happy, especially coming from 13th on the grid. In fact, all the podium guys came from outside or the 10th or outside the top 10. So I think you've really showed that you are here to try and make a statement this season.
Yeah, I think that VSC also helped us quite a bit on that one. When the top guys pitted, I felt like that kind of that set them down the order a bit more, and it pushed us all up and then into contention really.
But still,
yeah,
you still have to
really
drive. There was a long old race after that VSC. Anything could have happened, and you still brought home a podium in your first race of season 4. So very, very good job.
Thank you.
Con, are you here, sir? We'll get the elephant in the room out of the way first. The hard tyre.
I went soft and I put it on the hards.
Oh, I thought that. So in that,
I was angry.
in that pretenses, Con, you probably feel like that's a race that got away from you. You probably feel like you should have won that.
I was actually feeling quite confident. After I got past lap 2, I was like, right, new safety car, let's go. I haven't crashed it.
Mate, once you got past the formation lap, I was proud of you.
So I just kept my mind on my own race, didn't look at anybody else, and just sort of kept running, and then see myself out front end in the mediums, and this could actually work. And then within into the pits, seen you wipe all the tyres and went, no way. So I just sort of pushed and pushed to get as much points as I could.
So that battle in the end, it was probably one of the best battles of the race. Yourself and Matoman, you really hung the arse out on that hard tyre. I don't think you could have pushed the tyre any harder. I was watching you on the exit of every corner, and I think you were wheel spinning through 3 gears every time you got the foot down. So it was a very intense and probably on the edge closing few laps for you.
Oh, I was just nail biting. I just wanted to try and get the podium, just to keep Adam quiet.
Yeah, Con, I will give you that. You had a stellar race. It was enjoyable to watch. You still screwed the pooch on your strategy.
That was Cody's fault. That wasn't my own.
Oh, well, I'm going with that's just your fault.
Yeah, that's still a good strategy, but
No, you did a great job on those hards, though. I mean, I honestly thought you was going to fall back, and that was it. But stellar job, mate. That was Con 1 from HOR there.
that's I come out in the hards and I seen Mikey who wasn't far behind. I was like, I'm going to end up 6th or 7th here by this. I just kept going.
It was a very committed drive on the hard compound tyre, that is for sure. On a track that they don't work so good at times either,
yeah.
So very, very good effort, Con.
Thanks very much, lads. A long time since I enjoyed a race as much.
That's what we like to hear. That is exactly why I think, well, I don't know about Adam, but it's why I like to do this, because there's too much faff and messing around, and us oldies just like to go and do some good hard racing with no bitching, and that's exactly what we got there, so good effort.
To be fair, Chris, I've actually sometimes comms can be a bit meh, but obviously listening to you and Jensen for the past 3 seasons, that race was an absolute, as you would say, banger. We can call it a barnstormer. Had a bit of everything. It was just a great race to watch. Edge of my seat those last few laps, watching more. And I will say this, more in support of Matthew to get the win. He didn't. Nelly got the win. Stellar job from Nelly as well.
Yes.
Con survived from the formation lap to finish the race. 100% sending that man a blue Peter badge.
Yes. But we should really talk to a race winner.
Is he here?
Yes, he's here. You're just talking
Yes.
like we're finishing up comms.
Sorry, my bad.
Nelly, very, very well done. That's a good way to get the season kicked off. You've got to be a very happy boy.
Just another day at the office, isn't it?
Oh, it's... Mike's words will never leave him, and the tactics get going straight from the off. That's what we like to see.
I don't know how I did that. That was crazy. I've played this game like twice in a whole 2 months. I've moved house, I'm working like 5-6 days a week. I don't have time to practice. And that was, and the guys who pitted under the VSE, you ruined your own race. That was ridiculous. But, yeah, I survived. And I got across the line first. First you have to finish. And, but whoever this Red Bull is, that's a bloody good driver. He was quicker than me. Shame he came out on the hards. But he was coming back at the end.
Week.
It's insane. It's insane, but I just want to say, everyone watching, it's great to be back in OTL.
Yes, I concur with that statement for sure. It's
double
good to be back
concur with said
commentating, I should say. And you start off the way you left off in very good fashion. For some reason, OTL always seems to get to the end of the race and there's 4 or 5 guys up front fighting for the win. Even if somebody at one point in the race is 15 seconds ahead, like we had, somehow you always end up racing at the end of the race. So Nelly, eyes forward for the rest of the season. Eyes set high?
No. Well, yes, obviously. You know, since season 1. Even following Glock's his bottom for like 2 years, for like a whole year. You know I never give up, and I'll give everything for the season. Let's just see what happens. But the fact is, I've led the championship at one point in the season, which is now. So
and that's a win.
That is a
win.
massive win. That is a massive win.
Let's send you that voucher now.
So until next Monday, I'm going to be sending inappropriate pictures to Mike. So
I like it.
I look forward to battling with him for the rest of the year because
I think he's going to come back strong next week. But no taking away from you, Nelly. Fantastic race from where you started.
Thanks, bud.
To get the win. You're the only guy I'll ring before a race to make sure you're there to race. Just so you know that.
Work night shift problems.
Yeah, I've done that before as well. But congrats, man. Great win.
Cheers, guys. I appreciate it.
So on that note, Adam, we have one thing to do before we wrap up the stream.
I've got 3 guys in my head, and it's a lottery. And they're all in this party, Chris. I don't think anybody stood out more than any of them. Even that potato putting on the hards and still getting second.
So this is how I would do it, because I do agree. But just for the factor that Con done it on the hards,
yeah,
I think that just puts it that little bit ahead of Matt's and Nelly's superb drives.
I concur. concur. It's just a toss up.
I agree as well.
The hard tie we've got to push it.
I think the last 5 laps on the hards are worthy of a driver of the day over anything on the lap, just because he kept his cell in the fight. So yeah. Con is our driver of the day, so that's I don't know if you know, Con, but that's a bonus point on your championship.
Thanks very much, lads.
No worries.
It hurt me to give that to you. I'm not going to lie.
You're not sleeping tonight,
I'm not sleeping.
So Matthew, Con, Nelly, very well done. It's a cracking way to open your championship. Adam, do you have anything for the guys before we wrap up for the evening?
No. Well done, you three. Well done to everybody who raced tonight. Fantastic racing all round. Thank you for doing comms again, Chris, and allowing me to.
Thank you for being here.
Chat waffle.
Yes, that's all comms is.
What do we roll on to Wednesday for? Is it the return of something, Chris?
Oh, I don't know. Could just be a little league called HOR.
Oof. Sounds ominous.
Yes, the return of HOR this coming Wednesday. That is one not to be missed. Some very, very fast guys joining the group. So
and Matthew.
It could be very entertainment. And Matthew, yes, can't forget Matthew.
I'll get a mention.
So on that note, the channel will be live on Wednesday, and from myself, Adam and OTL, we will see you next week.